Hi guys, mabuhay! Welcome back to our channel. This is Efrain, yung hardinerong kapitbahay. It's another day and another plan to discuss anong pang hinihintay mo. Tara, samahan mo ako at magkwentuhan tayo. Hi guys, mabuhay! Welcome back to our channel. This is Efrain, yung hardinerong kapitbahay. Magandang araw mga kapuso, kapatid, kapamilya at syempre mga kapitbahay. One of my friends is promoted for a new position, and with that, she receives a new office. For a new office, I would like to give her something that she can put on her office. Of course, so I looked around in the garden place, and I decided to pick up this plant. This plant is called Fittonia albivenis. Okay, albivenis. So also known as the nerve plant, mosaic plant, Fittonia, painted net leaf. Okay, so this one is an origin of tropical rainforest of South America, principally Peru. Okay, so normally this grown Fittonia is actually a house plant, and we consider this as a nerve plant. Sinatawag sila itong nerve plant, and this is an evergreen perennial, which is actually, as you can see, delicately veined deep green leaves. Although the most popular vein color of this plant is silvery-white, you can also readily find varieties with veins in red, pink, white, and green color. So nerve plant is a low-growing creeper that is perfect fit for terrariums or bottle gardens. Pero as of the moment, ang ating Fittonia, very popular siya bilang isa sa mga houseplant natin na nilalagay natin sa ating mga pots. Okay? So, Fittonia typically grows to a height of 3 to 6 inches with a trailing spread of 12 to 18 inches. So, ganun siya, hindi ganun kalaki or karami yung napuproduce natin na Fittonia. Usually, mga small part lamang ng ating bahay, pwede natin siyang gawing or i-cover natin siya. And this is actually a very nice addition kung ilalagay natin siya sa magandang pots. Well, I decided also to give this particular plant, okay? And as you can see, I'm going to put it here dun sa ating terracotta type ng clay pots. Maliit lang na pot kasi maliit lang naman yung halaman na nakita ko, and I think this is best na ilagay niya sa kanyang tabletop. Okay? So, this plant, although it has a rarely flower plant, so ibig sabihin, especially if this is actually placed indoor, hindi siya masyadong nagbubulaklak. Pero in some other aspect, nagkakaroon siya ng bloom, and syempre medyo may pagka reddish or yellow-white spikes yung kanyang pinaka-bulaklak. Okay? Pero this particular plant is mostly cultivated because of the foliages na meron siya. Okay? Yun ang pinaka-decorative na purpose sa ating plants itself. So, Fittonia is somewhat temperamental and tricky to grow as a house plant. It requires a very high constant humidity such as found in a terrarium. And it cannot tolerate stagnant conditions. When I say stagnant, that means hindi niya kayang i-withstand yung clogging ng water or yung masyadong dry na environment. Okay? So nerve plant is also sensitive to strong direct sunlight and will quickly suffer from leaf burn. So kaya hindi siya pwedeng ilagay sa ilalim ng sikat ng araw. So usually, ang ganitong mga klase ng Fittonia is actually placed under understory, kumbaga. O kaya naman ay talagang sa loob lamang ng bahay, receiving only a filtered light from the window. Okay? So ibig sabihin hindi siya directly or bright light lamang ang kailangan ng ating Fittonia na to. Okay. So, let's try to look into the soil of the Fittonia. Okay? So, the source of this particular plant, yung aking binilhan nito, actually uses this particular soil mix. At I really appreciate yung kanyang klase ng soil mix na ginamit dito. I think this is quite impressive kasi most of the people na nagbebenta, they are using primarily yung mga cheap sources ng ating mga soil mix. However, in this case kasi, they're able to use some of those humus type of soil. Okay? And I think this is actually considered to be a soilless type. Kasi sabi natin soilless, hindi siya totally na soil. It is actually a composition of yung tinatawag nating mga dry leaves. Okay? Pansinin natin. And also, that's the reason why when you grow a Fittonia, it is very important that your potting mix or your soil mix or substrate is actually using a base which is peat-moss. Now, in some other aspect, this particular plant, gumagamit siya dito ng mga partially decomposed soil, decomposed na mga dahon and branches, which makes it more affordable sa mga tao na gustong mag-alaga ng Fittonia. Okay? And aside from being yung fast draining, it is also contains or it also holds some moisture, pero hindi yung tipong nagka-clog yung ating soil mix. Okay. So let's just revisit now yung kanyang root system. Now, as you can see, ang tawag dito, yung pinaka roots natin is actually naka-hug na siya or nakayakap na siya dun sa ating pinaka substrate. So it means to say that this particular Fittonia ay medyo matagal na nakalagay dito sa plastic na to. And the good thing about the Fittonia plant is that hindi siya masyadong lumalalim, or kumbaga ay wala siyang isang roots na tumutubo. It is usually a fibrous type of roots na kumakalat lamang siya. So we could easily direct this particular fibrous roots para mag-resurface. Okay? Now, as you can see, I'm just going to remove some of the substrate here para maging kasya doon sa ating plants. Okay? Na syempre, ingatan natin na magkaroon tayo ng damage doon sa kanyang pinaka general roots. Okay? Doon sa kanyang pinaka roots. And of course, one good thing about Fittonia is that madali siyang mag-adapt doon sa environment na meron siya. Okay? Yun naman ang magkagandahan sa Fittonia. Kaya sabi nila, ang Fittonia ay isa sa pinaka madaling alagaan na plant. Okay? Basta nakakakuha lamang siya ng enough na nutrients from the soil itself. So I could say the dark coloration or yung pinaka dark yung dark na substrate natin is actually enough to supply yung kailangan nutrients ng ating pinaka soil. Okay? Yan. So actually, as you can see here, the Fittonia here is already, ilan yun? There is already 4 or 5. 5 or 4 na plantlets already. So kung ako ay magre-reproduce ng ganitong klase ng plants, I would suggest na hihiwa-hiwalayin ko silang 4. Okay? Pero since na this will be a part of the gift, okay, this will be a part of the gift, so definitely hindi ko siya hihiwalayin at lalagay ko lang siya sa isang part. Okay? So, I think medyo magkakasya na siya doon. Ayan. Just enough. Okay. Tapos lalagyan natin siya ng fillers ng konti doon sa side niya. Okay. So, the Fittonia, hindi pa naman siya totally nakahag doon sa lupa. So, I suggest na pwede pa natin siyang ilagay doon sa ganitong klase ng pots. And maliit pa naman yung ating pinaka-plant itself. Okay, so there is what we call adjustment pa rin doon sa ating plant. Okay? And of course, pag dumami na siya, of course, that is the only time na pwede natin siyang ihiwalay pwede natin siyang i-repot again for a bigger pot na terracotta. Pero as of the meantime, bagay na to sa ganitong klase ng pots. Okay? And the pots itself suggests para yung medyo may pagka-gothic type or yung may pagka-rustic type yung ating idea ng ating plant. Okay? Now, what is nice about this particular Fittonia is that yung kanyang colorations ng kanyang dahon, tapos yung kanyang pinaka-stems, that is a herbaceous type na may mga spines or mga hairy type ng hairy yung kanyang pinaka-stems. The hair itself suggests na ipe-preserve niya yung mga moisture ng ating or moisture sa environment natin. Kaya medyo may pagka-hairy yung kanyang structure o yung kanyang pinaka-stems. Okay? So, yeah. So, what else? So, watering. So, in terms of the watering, the Fittonia really loves a very moist environment. So, gusto niya yung kanyang pinaka substrate ay moist. once this particular nerve plant is actually prone to collapse if it is allowed to dry out or talagang totally na siya ay ma-dry out, talagang mawawala siya or mamamatay siya. We have to water it immediately after ma-dry out yung kanyang pinaka substrate kasi para siya ay makaregain ng kanyang strength at bumalik sa kanya dati yung pinaka vibrant color niya as a plant. Okay? At the other extremes, Fittonia plants that are allowed to stagnate in water will develop yung tinatawag nating yellow limp leaves. Yun yung nagiging problema natin pag masyado naman natin siyang natutubigan. Okay? O masasabi natin na nagka-clog yung pinaka water o dun sa kanyang sa kanyang soil. Now, with regards naman dun sa ating terracotta, the good thing about the use of terracotta pot is that this pot is actually absorbing some of the water. So, hindi natin problemahin yung totally drying out nung pinaka soil mix natin. Okay? Next, light. This plant really love a humid, bright shade of tropical forest. This plant prefers similar conditions. So, if this plant lives in a humid, bright shade of tropical forest, kailangan natin siyang imimik. Okay, when you say imimik, kailangan natin gayahin. So, ano ang kanyang dislikes? So, ayaw niya ng full sun or full sunlight and it prefers bright indirect sun. Okay? So, yun ang ma-offer natin sa kanya pag inilagay natin siya sa loob ng ating bahay. Okay? So, what else? Aside from that temperature and humidity, nerve plants thrives at temperature around 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So, more or less mga around to siguro mga 24 to 25 degrees Celsius. Okay? These plants prefer humid conditions similar to those found in rainforests. And in order for us to increase the humidity of the surroundings for this plant, I would suggest for you to have a regular misting that will keep the plants from drying out. So kung wala naman tayo na spray, pwede tayong gumamit ng humidifier. Or kaya naman ay we could put something sa ilalim with a plate with some stones and put some water in it. Tapos doon natin siya isit doon sa pinaka mga rocks or pebbles. Okay? Hindi natin pwedeng umabot doon sa part na basang-basa yung ating pinaka pebbles para umakyat doon sa ating plant. Hindi pwedeng ganoon kasi nga mabababad naman yung ating pinaka root system. So ayaw ng plants natin ng ganoon. Okay? So in terms of the fertilizer, these plants really love fertilizer, especially during the growing season. Okay? And the best fertilizer for this one is a balanced fertilizer diluted to half strength. Is actually a good formulation. Ano yung balance? We could place here 5:5:5 fertilizer. So that means 5 parts of nitrogen, 5 parts of phosphorus, 5 parts of potassium. Okay? So yun yung ating pwedeng gamitin for this particular growing type of plant to increase yung kanyang population or yung vegetation ng ating Fittonia. Okay? Now, in terms of the propagation, their plants propagate readily from leaf tip cuttings. So, madali siyang i-propagate. You're just going to remove or to pinch out some of its part and make sure na siya ay maayos yung pagkaka-pinch. Siyempre. Tapos, some of those growers, ang ginagawa nila, nilalagyan nila ng rooting hormones. Well, if the condition is just right naman, medyo basa naman yung or maano naman yung conditions, medyo moist naman. So I would suggest na wag niyo nang lagyan ng rooting hormones. Pero it will not really help the plant itself. Lalo na rin naman kung ang environment ay napaka-dry o yung soil natin ay napaka-dry. So rooting hormone walang mangyayari. So we have to make these plants grow naturally. Okay din naman na wag na nating lagyan ng ating rooting hormone. Okay? Although, for some other aspect, it really increases yung tinatawag nating growth ng roots. Okay? Now, pruning. Nerve plants grow quickly in the right condition. And if the stems grow leggy, pinching off the tips will keep the growth full and bushy. Because the flowers are insignificant and boring, pinching all the buds will also help keep the foliage full. So, in this case, this is a good start that we have this one in this particular pot kasi hindi pa siya masyadong madami. Pero once na nagkaroon tayo ng maraming plant dito, well, I think that is the best time for us to transfer this particular nerve plant sa mas malaking pots. And consider na pwede natin siyang paramihin. Okay? So, what are the common problems that we can be able to encounter in growing these plants? So, many of the problems is associated with Fittonia are the same ones that can affect other tropical houseplant. An example of those things is yellow leaves. Yellow leaves are the result of too much water. Okay? So, we have to use a pot with drainage hose to prevent soggy soil. So, I would suggest, okay, as you can see, ayan. So, this particular plant, hindi siya masyadong kailangan ng watering. Kasi nga, as you can see, yung kanyang drainage hole, medyo malaki naman siya ng konti. So, if you're going to have a terracotta na mayroon lang isang 1 part doon na drainage hole, I don't think na kailangan siyang diligan every time or every day. Siguro mga siguro every twice a week will do. Okay? Depende sa condition. Okay. Now, another one is leaf drop. Okay, leaf drop is usually the result of cold temperature. So, we have to try to mimic the tropical conditions where this species naturally grows. So, ano ba yung cold drops na tinatawag natin? So, if we're going to put this particular Fittonia dun sa area ng ating bahay na tinatamaan ng aircon, nung hangin galing sa aircon, definitely, it will result to a leaf drop. Kasi, comparative kasi doon sa ibang environment, sa isang environment, hindi kailangan ng masyadong malamig nitong ating Fittonia. It's just a right condition. Okay? So, dry, shriveled leaves, okay, usually indicates that the plants are not receiving enough humidity. Okay? Or, it is receiving too much direct sun. Okay? So, kung ang ating dahon ay dry, so dalawa lang ang conditions. Either, kulang ang ating, or yung mababa yung humidity, or siya ay na-subject sa direct sun. Okay? So, inside the room, we could use a humidifier or to increase the levels of humidity during the season. Okay? Like for example, this time, medyo malamig ng panahon and it really gives us a really dry environment. Okay? And of course, kung naman ang problema natin ay sa direct sun siya, we have to make this plant, we have to put away this plant from direct sunlight. Okay? Now, about naman dun sa tinatawag nating problem regarding with the insects, of course, insect problems include fungus gnats, mealybugs, or aphids. I think more of those things na nagsasak nung juice from the plants, that is actually one of the problem ng ating Fittonia. Okay, so if you're able to find those mealybugs and aphids that is manifesting in one of the leaves nitong ating Fittonia, the best way is to apply some water with soap and get some cotton at saka natin iwa-wipe out. Okay? Keep affected plants isolated to prevent the bugs from spreading in other indoor plants. Some of the gardeners suggest na kailangan natin or if we're going to repot a plant, we have to remove lahat ng soil. Okay? And we have to replace it with another soil. Well, since naman wala tayong nakitang infestations or anything from this plant, I don't find it na kailangan ko pa siyang tanggalan ng soil para palitan ng panibagong soil. Kasi it will definitely shock the plants after ko siyang matransplant. So, I just choose to use again the soil. Binawasan lang natin ng konti para maging sakto sa ating pots. Okay? So, guys, this is I think this will do for a pot, for a gift sa ating sa aking kaibigan. The only thing that I have to do here is to tie a little knot. Siguro mga brown color na siguro na brown color siguro na tali. Okay? So, then lagyan ko ng konting message doon. Okay? Just to or a happy face siguro doon sa nakadikit dito. And I think that is it. Okay? Pwede ko na siyang gawing regalo sa kanya. As a welcome plan, as a welcoming to include vibrant color sa kanyang bagong opisina. Okay? So, yun guys ang aking message share regarding with our Fittonia. So, I have only a small number. Siguro, pag ito ay naparami ko pa, I would be able to share it also to some of you. Okay? So, I think that's all folks. You're watching Planting with F and Grace. Please watch and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you may add to your FB page si Maria Gracia at ang Lihim na Hardin. Now, if you have some comments, suggestions regarding with our Fittonia or other related events or sabihin natin experiences na related sa ating pinature na plant ngayon, we really appreciate your sharing with us. Okay? So, again, thank you very much and see you again next time for another day of discussion about a plant. Okay? Say bye! See you again next time. Bye!
September we met, I could tell by your smile. You hadn't been with a good girl like me in a while. Yeah, you were impressed, couldn't leave me alone. Text me every time that you pick up the phone. And I had control in the driver's seat, but my hands are slipping off the wheel. Now the tables have turned, now I'm my own.